So now I finally get to talk to Chaya. And I guess my question is like, what do you love most about what you do here? Like, is there a story, one pivotal moment in your mind that made you love what you do here most?
What we do here at the Chaya
Yeah, the
Center?
Chaya Center, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love being able to do like very profound, deep soul level work with people right here in Jerusalem. It just feels like so amazing. What an amazing gift to be able to do kind of help people on their deepest life issues and soul issues here in Jerusalem. So that's wonderful. And one of the really fun things that we do here is a thing called Circle Works, which is like I've created like a whole shita, a whole approach to doing group work, like utilizing the power of what it means to be in a group of women, in particular women, and to use that as a healing, like it's like its own soul medicine in a way to what it is to be with a group of women, and to give and get like really authentic feedback from others about how they experience us and how we experience them, and to work on our midot, work on our deepest traits with each other, and through this kind of wonderful vehicle of being in a circle together. And it's very much based on a thing called Miriam's Code, which is based on Miriam's circle dance with the women at the sea. There's so I've like kind of teased out of the story and the verses about Miriam's dance, a whole way of being together and being in what's called circle consciousness.
It's so significant. No, it's so significant in terms of like we've seen happen in terms of this whole hair wrapping thing that's happening with Wrapunzel. Mm-hmm. It's like we just see women come together and like there's like this power that honestly, until like you obviously understand it, but like I don't even understand what's going. So can you tell me a bit about what about women being together creates such a bond?
Yeah. So I'll tell you from like a Torah perspective.
Yeah, please.
Torah is so like at the core of the work that I do is from Sarah Yehudit Schneider's book, The Kabbalistic Principles of the Masculine and Feminine. Please go get it.
Yeah.
The Torahs that are in this book, really Kabbalistic Torahs, but also straight from the Talmud and straight from our clearest sources, talking about the power of the feminine and the power of the feminine coming into its own power in the world. So one of those is about the Miriam's circle dance. And so what is so amazing about what happens with the women when they're at the sea and they're dancing and they're singing, and the Me'or V'Shemesh, who is a Hasidic writer, has a beautiful like kind of Kabbalistic based take on what's so powerful about what the women are doing. He says that Moshe and Moses, when he's singing, he sings in future tense. Az Yashir, in the future time we'll sing to God. In the future time we'll have this great revelation, this great party will happen in the future. And it's this, talking about this future revelation, which is very masculine. It's like this masculine way of being. It's like everything is directed, line-oriented, progress, linear, as opposed to the women. When they're singing and dancing, it's in the present tense. Me'or V'Shemesh talks about how the women actually were able to harness and bring down a higher revelation than Moshe did. And part of why they were able to do this is because they were in a circle. And they were all, because what happens when we're in a circle, we're all equal distance from the center. That is to say, we're all equal. We're all like solely, there's no hierarchy. There's no, this person's up here and I'm down here and you know more than me. And everybody is in touch with their own wisdom source and their own like inner wellspring of wisdom. And everybody has equal access to God and to divinity. And so there's something about the women being in this state of circle consciousness. So it's about seeing each other equally and honoring each other equally. And more than that, it's also being in the present moment. What does it mean to be in the present moment? To not be thinking about what we're gonna eat for lunch or what I'm gonna say to this person. To be just here right now, and the divinity that we're able to contact when we're just like with each other in this present moment in conversation or in relation. So those are two aspects that the Me'or V'Shemesh talks about, is equality and present tense as like these ways of being in circle consciousness that are like, the ideal, the heightened place that we want to get to. And he talks about it as being like this messianic vision. Like what is Mashiach? Mashiach is somehow when we're all going to embody these circle attributes, these circular ways of being, and they're feminine ways of being.
Yeah.
They're feminine. It's like the circle around our head.
Yeah.
It's like we've just been wrapping circles, and it's deep. It's very symbolic and deep. So when this circle consciousness comes into the world more, that's like he talks about it as being like the steps, the gateways, the portal to like redemption. Like this is no small work that you're doing, you know, like it might seem like it's just about this right here, but it's symbolic of such a larger movement towards Mashiach.
Such a bigger thing happening than just, I don't want to say just, because every rap and every woman is so profound, and that's, we can feel it so much. I can even feel it when talking to you. The light is just shining out of your face when you talk about it. In your video that you had online, you talk about what you call the Kabbalistic Feminist.
Yeah, I'm working on a manifesto of a Kabbalistic feminist.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of got what you were talking about then, but I'm sure everyone else is like, that sounds really cool. So like, what is that?
What is that? God knows. I'm just trying to channel it in, but it's basically just like I just said. This idea of circle consciousness that we have in our sources is about how when these feminine ways of being come into empowerment in the world and come into full expression in the world, then we are reaching our goals of world peace, you know. So Kabbalistic feminism basically says that, really based on teachings from the Arizal and sort of deep Kabbalistic teachings, talk about how the diminishment of the feminine, based on the diminishment of the moon. We know, like, there's Midrashic stories about the diminishment of the moon, also connected to the diminishment of the Jewish people. But that the Messianic movement is for when the moon and the sun will have the same brightness, right? So we have these deep teachings that say when the feminine is going to be coming into her strength and coming into empowerment, that's a sign of Mashiach. So Kabbalistic feminism says that this movement towards that empowerment is the key, and what we need to be focusing on, what we need to be working on to bring about redemption. But it also kind of explains, what I love about it is it explains so much of the pain, you know, so much of, there is this idea that there has been a diminishment and an unfortunate and like really negative diminishment of the feminine. It has happened in history. I mean, it's defined our history, like the subjugation of women and the abuse of women has unfortunately like been just a fact of world history. And then with the emergence of feminism, and God bless it, you know, like it really is, feminism is really a Kabbalistic movement, I would say, you know, and it's a sign of the changes that we've all been working for, and because it really talks about how when we start to empower women and they move out of that place of subjugation and move into a place of equality, like that's the goal. So there's a lot of ways to do that, and the work that we do here at the center, like, is about trying to harness those. Okay, so yeah, how do I speak differently? How do I speak in a way that is honoring of other people? How do I speak in a way that is, the other person, I can tell that I view them as an equal, and that I'm present with them, and how are we doing, like, with our male-female interactions and relationships, and how do we bring those into a place of enlightenment? Is all the work that we're trying to do here.
I'm curious, like, what does that female liberation look like in terms of, because obviously, it's, you know, males have their own work to do, but we have a special, unique. We have a special, unique role in this world. Yeah. So what does that look like? What should we? You know, obviously, we can't look to males and just imitate what they're doing, because that's the opposite of feminism. So what does that look like?
Yeah, that's such a great question.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think we're figuring it out along the way, you know. But I think that part of, like, the hair covering piece is, I am, and what I say in the spoken word video is like I'm bucking the system, like the system that's out there in the Western world. Dear God, it's really not healthy. It's just really
turning it on its head here.
It's upside down, and I get the good intention of it. Yeah, yes, it is about, like, allowing women to have a voice and self-expression, all that. Mazel tov. And yet it's doing it in a way that at the end of the day is, I think, disempowering for women. And so dressing in the ways that we dress, you know, trying to be more modest with, you know, covering our hair in these beautiful ways that are expressive of our spiritual path. Like, it's a sign that I'm doing my own spiritual avoda, my own spiritual work. And the ways that we dress, like, express that in the world. So I think it's interesting to, like, think about, well, one way that women can do the work of, you know, this messianic work that we're talking about is in the way that we dress.
Yeah.
It is in the way that we dress. Is like allowing that beauty to be present, and like the tiferet and the natural beauty that God brings into our world, which is a blessing, and doing it in a way that's honoring and directs like a straight arrow back up to God. Channel down and a channel up. Like I'm doing this like out of an expression of my relationship with God. Like I'm living my life in ways that are a testimony to my belief in God and God's running of the world, and trying to. So it's really amazing to like think about how our clothes become expressions of
something. So it's just a piece of cloth, but it's not. You can elevate it in such beautiful ways.
Yeah. It's material.
No, and that's material. It's not a scarf. It's
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. You're sharing this with me. Just doing this with you now is like kind of revealed the potency of.
It's so big.
It's so big.
I mean, it's crazy. I don't even want to think of it because it's so overwhelming how big it is what we're doing. But we all have this intrinsic part in it as well. And I loved so much what you said about equality and helping each other out. And one thing I've noticed about what we're doing is like, you see women, helping each other. Like there's no competition.
Right.
We all want each other to be beautiful and unique, and to, I don't want you to look like me, and I don't want myself to look like you. We all have this essential role in the world. It's important, and we have to acknowledge that. I mean, in the other world, we're talking like, oh, I have to look better or dress better or squeeze this or be thinner or do all these other things, and there's such a competition. And at least I don't think that's not a woman's natural state. As you said, a natural elevated state is that circle where we're helping each other and we're bringing everyone together. And it's beautiful.
Yes.
It's really good. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I want to invite everybody to come visit.
It's so beautiful here. I just walked in and you saw I was speechless.
Really, thank God we've been blessed with a beautiful place, and we have guests, and we have a guest room, and we do classes, and we do all sorts of fun things, and I just come to Israel, come to Jerusalem, get in on the party. Jewish history has sucked, and now like the party's beginning, and so I really just that would be the most important thing I want to say is like come join in this movement, of empowering women and viewing Judaism as a female empowering tradition and derech and pathway, where we're working together to bring something better to the world. God knows we need it. Thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you. Okay, bye everyone. Thank you for listening.